look at it. I mean, I've said this before, and I'm not labelling Daniel Dubois a quitter. He's done it. Yes, he's done it in the past. There's no getting away from that.
Spewed it.
It's happened. You've spewed it. The first time you do it is the hardest. So it only gets easy going on. It's just that at this moment right now, he's riding the crest of a big wave.
Yeah. So, but it disappoints me that you can actually stoop as low as bringing those types of photographs I'm looking at. Why don't you print one of those prints as the actual shot that had you trembling?
Tony Bellew isn't holding back. The former cruiserweight king delivers a blunt reality check ahead of Usyk versus Dubois 2, and he's got a bold prediction you'll want to hear. Tony Bellew recently shared his thoughts on the upcoming Oleksandr Usyk versus Daniel Dubois rematch, and while he praised Dubois for his accomplishments at just 27 years old, he didn't shy away from making a bold prediction.
Dubois is a 27-year-old veteran.
Yeah, it's true.
He's been through that much and he's experienced that much, but it'll be interesting to see if that's going to make a difference against Oleksandr Usyk. I do think he's in the fight. I do think it's a dangerous fight, but ultimately, I think it's one he'll lose. I think Oleksandr Usyk will make him revisit the place he made him visit last time.
Bellew recognized Dubois' historic record and future, noting the rarity of scoring such achievements at an early age. Yet, in spite of the praise, Bellew stood his ground. He believes Usyk will emerge victorious again, pointing to the Ukrainian's experience and technical mastery.
Is it the place he made him visit last time? He pushed him to the brink of quitting.
And
that's where it goes, and you'd have to look at it. I mean, I've said this before, and I'm not labelling Daniel Dubois a quitter. He's done it. Yes, he's done it in the past. There's no getting away from that.
Spewed it.
It's happened. You've spewed it. The first time you do it is the hardest. So it only gets easy going on. It's just that at this moment right now, he's riding the crest of a big wave.
By contrast, at a recent press conference, promoter Frank Warren was much more positive about Daniel Dubois' prospects. Warren insisted this is not the same Dubois who lost the first fight. Warren feels Dubois has matured a lot, both physically and mentally, and now has a good chance of dethroning Usyk. Warren highlighted Dubois' appetite, fresh confidence, and new tactics his team is coming up with, asserting that this rematch has the potential to shock a lot of people and could rewrite history.
And it's an opportunity for Daniel to etch his name in British sporting history. He wins this fight, he's the first Brit to hold the 4 belts.
It was during that very press conference that tensions flared when Daniel Dubois' trainer, Don Charles, seized the moment to take verbal potshots at Oleksandr Usyk. Charles called out Usyk's validity and proposed that the initial bout was halted under dubious conditions.
You know, Usyk, me personally as a boxing coach, I have a lot of respect for you as a fighter. What you've achieved is remarkable. Yeah, so, but it disappoints me that you can actually stoop as low as bringing those types of photographs I'm looking at. Why don't you print one of those prints as the actual shot that had you trembling? The acting you did that night, you've heard of the Oscars, right? The Emmys.
He also challenged Usyk to play mind games and shun real power punchers such as Dubois. The trainer's remarks injected flavor into the hype, obviously trying to unsettle Usyk and instill confidence in Dubois' camp by sparking psychological warfare ahead of time.
You'd be given an Oscar for the performance. You conned the referee, you conned us, you conned the boxing world. I've always maintained that, and I'll still maintain it. You pride yourself as a God-fearing man. Thou shalt not lie in the name of God.
Oleksandr Usyk, never one to take the bait easily, retorted Don Charles's hot-headed words with a smile and good humor. With his offbeat personality and cool head, Usyk diffused the situation with a smile and some well-timed jabs of his own. Rather than getting into a war of words, he poked fun at the situation, eliciting giggles from the audience and once again demonstrating why he's one of the sport of boxing's coolest heads under stress. His calmness only served to enhance his air of confidence and command.
You must teach your fighter punch clean, but I win this fight for right my hand, like a jab. Bam!
In another trollish move outside the press conference, Oleksandr Usyk upped the ante by uploading a video of himself training to be hit in low blows. A blatant jab at the contentious conclusion of their first bout. With a body shield on and his sparring partners tossing mock low punches, Usyk made light of the situation, exercising both his mischievous side and his quick wit for psychological combat.
Да мне только боляче, и шо? И шо? Я все не так говорю. А я, это твои проблемы, я их бьешь. Давай.
This fight caught the eyes of many as Ricky Hatton came out with enormous amounts of praise for Oleksandr Usyk and the hard work he puts into training. He praised his discipline, work ethic, and continuous evolution in training. According to Hatton, it is what stands Usyk out at this elite level, his intent on perfecting every detail from conditioning to technique. He even suggested that the Ukrainian's current shape would cause great issues for anyone who steps into the heavyweight division, describing him as a complete fighter who's always improving.
In one respect, it's fascinating to see how, people from different countries, Eastern Europeans, train. One point he was guessing numbers of the cards, and one minute he was catching coins like that, for hand-eye coordination. And then he went to his bag and took his skip. I thought he was going to get his skipping rope, and he took 4 or 5 balls out and started juggling. The only good thing for Tony is he didn't drop one. People from other countries come in the gym and seeing the different training methods they have. You never stop learning in this game, so it was very, very interesting to see.
Paulie Malignaggi also weighed in with the collective acclaim for Oleksandr Usyk, singling out his immaculate fundamentals. The ex-world champion analyst praised Usyk's textbook style, ring placement, and ring IQ as some of the best in the world right now. Malignaggi reinforced that Usyk doesn't use flash. Rather, he dissects opponents with pure skill, great timing, and smart movement. In Paulie's opinion, it's Usyk's control of fundamentals that makes him so efficient against even the most volatile heavyweights.
Just how impressed have you been by Oleksandr Usyk's career so far? It's been meteoric rise, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think he's one of the best fighters in the world, probably on the pound-for-pound list. It's funny because he and Lomachenko have a similar dynamic in this. They're more of these modern of Eastern Europeans. They have the great fundamentals that Eastern Europeans always bring, but they also have this fluidity to them. They're almost like a new age, evolved Eastern European fighter. So you don't get worse, they only get better.
Teddy Atlas also made his bets on the encounter, saying that this fight might be well different from the initial. The venerable trainer and commentator said that Usyk is demonstrably improved in all senses, sharper, stronger, and more confident. Of course, Atlas said that Dubois may well come into the fight well prepared with all this hype, but that might not be the real difference maker. Usyk's improvement as a fighter. He described Usyk as not just better, but smarter, faster, and more complete, suggesting this version of Usyk could be levels above what we saw in their first encounter.
Dubois has found himself. He's a different fighter. He's a different animal now. Anyone who thinks that it's the same fight, they're wrong. I can't go against Usyk. I can't. Because the guy, his greatest strength is he always finds a way to win. Always. The amateurs, Olympic gold, cruiserweights, unified heavyweights, goes to London, fights a bigger guy, fights him twice, beats him. Then he goes and fights a bigger guy again, fights him twice, Fury, beats him. The guy knows how to, finds a way to win. He's special, but he's getting older. I would have preferred, like I said, I have nothing but admiration for both. I have some maybe extra love towards Usyk.
Adam Smith talked to International Boxing News about how he remembered recent meetings with Oleksandr Usyk when training, remembering his camp atmosphere as surprisingly positive and happy. Adam Smith said that Usyk looked really confident and focused, showing no symptoms of being underestimated by his rival. He is taking the match seriously and is fully committed to preparing at the absolute highest level. The mental sharpness brought together with Usyk's physical improvements makes him a well-rounded match going into this fight.
Daniel Dubois is, in a few weeks' time, going to have the chance at this stage of his career, at 27, under Don, that he deserves as IBF champion. However, there's a problem. Oleksandr Usyk is the best fighter in boxing, period. Of this generation, what he's done at cruiserweight, what he's done at heavyweight, what he's done to all the other British fighters, to do the double over AJ, the double over Tyson Fury. And look at him, the class he exuded in the interviews earlier. And he knows the danger of Daniel Dubois. The low blow, was it, wasn't it? He knows how tough Daniel Dubois is, and he knows that Dubois improved. But that just spurs Usyk on. I was in camp with him in Gandia before the Fury second fight, and I spoke to him and he said he's really enjoying boxing. He's enjoying the training. So I knew he'd fight on. He wants to have this fight. He wants to fight in Ukraine, which is the big one, if that can happen. But he knows how difficult an opponent Dubois is.
And that confidence was recently on full show when Usyk was seen taking it easy and vibing on his phone in training camp, totally relaxed. This casual mood is a clear indication of just how comfortable and self-confident he feels going into the rematch. Evidence that he's getting in his head and ready to play his A game. In a very recent sit-down with Dubois, Usyk depicted a very laid-back and relaxed vibe, just chilling and keeping everything light. His composure sets him apart, depicting the confidence and the mental ease he brings in for this very critical rematch.
I bring light, I bring happy, I bring win.
You bring fight, you bring happy,
fight, yeah.
And you
Free
bring the win.
time, undisputed from Ukraine, Oleksandr Usyk. Usyk.
Again in a sit-down with Usyk on the Piers Morgan show, he was joking and flaunting his cool. His carefree nature showcased just how relaxed and confident he is, leading up to the huge rematch, proving himself mentally sharp and ready for whatever throws his way.
Why have you
What my difference?
Yes, why have you never lost a fight?
Because I have like this beautiful teeth. Anthony Joshua don't have, Miller don't have, Hrgovic too don't have. But
how have you got such good teeth? That's an extraordinary thing you've just shown me.
It's my mama and papa.
More indications of confidence surface as Usyk is already thinking ahead to how he will celebrate his rematch victory. The champion has made public his post-win celebrations, indicating just how confident he is of winning. This insight into his thinking tells us not just of his concentration within the ring, but of his eagerness to let his hair down once he gets the win against Dubois.
Do you drink Guinness? I like Guinness. Not a lot of one glasses, mini glass, small glass.
So you can only have a mini glass?
Now, no, because now I wanna win.
Yeah,
yeah. Now just sparkling water with lemon and rice and duck.
So after Daniel Dubois fight, you'd have a Guinness straight away?
Of course, big glasses, not small.
How many? Five Guinness.
Bigger. 2 liters.
2 liters.
Yeah, like this, and a big,
so I guess the 3 pints.
Like a this,
okay,
this hand, and like a this, and come on.
You make me thirsty now. Now you make me thirsty.
Frank Warren was full of praise for Oleksandr Usyk, highlighting his established record and exceptional fighting ability. The veteran promoter emphasized Usyk's skill, consistency, and the way he's dominated at both cruiserweight and heavyweight levels. Warren pointed out that Usyk's technical brilliance and relentless work ethic have earned him respect across the boxing world, making him one of the most complete and dangerous fighters in the division today.
Right, that wrong from last time. He's a totally different fighter, isn't he? When I say a different fighter, he's got confidence and air about him. I know he's always had the power. He's been in some good fights. If you look at his record and look at the guys he's fought at his age, it's amazing. Compared with a lot of heavyweights when they start out, looking at the amount of fights he's had and what other fighters have done. He's fought at a very, very high level. And his last 3 fights, he's been phenomenal. Phenomenal. You know, the power that he's shown, the boxing ability, the grit, the determination to come through the fights. And he's done it in fabulous, fabulous style. He's an exciting fighter. He's never in a boring fight. Every fight he has is an exciting fight. And this one is the big one.
Tony Bellew commented on the Usyk-Dubois rematch and spoke to the previous controversy, stating the punch landed on the protector, and that's what the protector is for, to take those blows. Aside from that, Bellew mentioned how Usyk has become the big name in heavyweight boxing. He expects Usyk to be put up against top-level tests as the division matures, reiterating that the champion's ability and mindset leave him at the top of the game.
Daniel Dubois, he challenged Usyk in the ring after the fight.
These guys are begging now for the payday because they know who the king is.
That's right.
And these guys need him. He doesn't need them. Oleksandr Usyk can choose to fight whoever he wants. He is now the draw in the heavyweight division. He is the big name.
Yeah.
And I take my hat off to Anthony Joshua, I take my hat off to Tyson Fury because they had the cojones to face him, as did Daniel Dubois. But let's not get away from anything. Daniel Dubois fought him once, and we've seen how that fight went.
Yeah.
Shot, let's just be brutally honest, it hit the protector. Why is it called the protector? Because it protects you from certain shots. Was it like, did anyone look at the belt line of Tyson Fury before the fight?
It was high, wasn't it? Yeah,
it was,
really
I mean,
high.
I was going to ask what's the neck on them shorts.
Yeah,
but
sure.
it was nuts. But no one said anything.
No.
But then ultimately when Oleksandr Usyk fights Daniel Dubois, and his shorts are on his navel, and you can clearly see his belly button at times in the fight, no one said. Also, it's whatever suits people's narrative and agendas at the time. For people who are Fury fans, they want to say Usyk's done this or he's robbed that. For people who are Dubois fans, just look at the cold, hard facts. He hits him on the protector. The protector's called the protector for a reason. And then ultimately, look at how the fight ended up. I mean, he had enough.
On his knees, wasn't he, by the end on one?
Usyk argues that the punch he was hit with was a low blow, while Dubois is adamant that it was a clean shot. Adding to the controversy, Usyk minimized the effect, stating that it wasn't the hardest punch he's ever landed. This contentiousness has only added fuel to the rivalry between the two fighters, continuing to set tongues wagging and building the hype leading to their rematch. The two camps remain entrenched in their positions, positioning themselves for another contentious showdown.
Go up. Listen, it's problem for referee and coach who study clean, not как грязный, dirty punch.
Dirty punch?
Yes.
You think?
Yes.
Deliberate?
This was a dirty punch.
It was a dirty punch, Daniel.
Wasn't dirty punch. But you know what?
And he's saying that you did that deliberately.
What do you think? What do you think?
It didn't look like it to me.
Honestly, that wasn't a dirty punch. That landed clean. You know, I should have been. A number of things happened because of that, behind the scenes, political and everything around that, why they couldn't give me that. And
Was that the hardest punch you've ever had, Alexander?
Sorry?
Was that the hardest punch you've ever had?
Yeah, it was a hard punch. Yeah.
The hardest you've had?
No.
Teddy Atlas praised Daniel Dubois for his impressive improvement and his recent win against Anthony Joshua. He highlighted Dubois' growth in skill, power, and maturity inside the ring, noting that the victory was a major statement. Atlas believes Dubois is evolving into a serious contender and warned that his progress makes the upcoming rematch with Usyk even more intriguing and challenging.
This is a different fight. Dubois is young. He's getting better. He's found himself. He's at that place now in his life where he's only going to get better. He believes in himself. He knows what he is now. He knows he can depend on himself. He is more dangerous now than he ever was. He was always a good puncher. But now he's more than just a good puncher. He's a solid man in that ring. It's a dangerous fight for Usyk. It's a very, very, very... And I salute him again. Even though I wish what I wish, I don't hide what I feel. I say it. But I salute him, that son of a gun. He's not stupid. He knows the guy's going to be better. He knows the guy's younger. He knows how dangerous. He knows how he knocked out Joshua. He knows all of that. And what does he say? Give me fight.
Frank Warren shared his thoughts on what is driving Daniel Dubois into the rematch and how he must perform to succeed. Warren feels Dubois is pushed by a keen urge to redeem himself and wipe out the doubts from their initial bout. To triumph, he claims Dubois needs to stiffen his defense, remain level-headed under stress, and make the most of his power without panicking, marrying discipline to aggression to beat Usyk's ability.
Daniel's up for this. He's up for this in a big way. He wants this fight. He prayed for it, and we delivered it. It's his chance to make history. It's the first time ever there's been a unification of the heavyweight division in the UK. It's the first time 4 belts, and it's his moment in time to cement his legacy in British sport, not just boxing, British sport, by beating the guy who's done everything in the heavyweight division, from winning the Olympic Games, down at the cruiserweight, coming in at cruiserweight and unifying the division and unifying the heavyweight titles. This is a huge, huge moment in time for him.
He said he's felt a lot of pain and anger since that first fight. Have you seen that, and do you feel like that's the key motivation for him heading into this one, revenge?
I don't know. Look, his motivation has been from the beginning to become the unified world champion. He's wanted that from the beginning. We invested in him very early. 9 years he's been with us, and it's been a long journey, a couple of bumps in the road, and he's got himself into a good place. And if he's ever going to do it, it's now.
And he wants absolute destruction, absolute domination this time. Obviously, you and Daniel...
That's how you beat Usyk. You've got to dominate him. You've got to hurt him. You know, it's the hurt business they're in, but he's got to get in there. He's got to show what he's all about, and he's got to be the boss.
And that desire has long proven itself, as Dubois freely acknowledged the rematch is going to be a bloodbath, and he's more than ready for it. The fact that he's willing to accept the ferocity of the fight introduces an added level of suspense and tension, guaranteeing fans a no-holds-barred, brutal showdown when he returns to the ring against Usyk.
It wasn't just a fight. It was a lot more than just a fight. It was a lot more. But I've rebuilt from it. I was in a dark place and I came out of it, and that's the main thing. I come out of it, and I can't wait for this one.
Numerous fighters have also responded to this bout, with Chris Eubank Jr. stating that Usyk and Dubois are at the moment on a streak. He added that it will primarily be a matter of mentality, noting that mental toughness and determination will be the deciding factors in determining who will win this highly expected rematch.
I think Daniel Dubois, he's on a roll. He's coming off of a massive win against AJ. Usyk's also on a massive roll, so I think that fight's going to come down to mindset.
Chris Algieri is also stoked about the Usyk versus Dubois rematch. He had followed closely the progress of both fighters and opined that this match will be a very aggressive battle. According to him, the combination of the skill of Usyk with the raw power of Dubois and his determination will make the contest a high-intensity one. He pointed out that both men bring something special to the ring, so the rematch is one of the biggest fights in the division today.
But the narrative is much better for the Dubois rematch. You've got the fact that they fought, and then since then Dubois has been on a tear, beating guys that he was the underdog against, Ergovich, and then Anthony Joshua, of course. You know, the guy has really revamped his entire career, turned it around, gone from a guy that people saw as a quitter to being potentially the most dangerous man in the world. So you've got this narrative now that Dubois is a different guy, so this rematch will be different. Also, you have the fact that Usyk, in the ring after his win over Tyson Fury, Dubois came into the ring, challenged him, and Usyk said, Your Excellency, Turkey, make the fight with Dubois. He's a man of his word. That guy says something, there's a good chance it's going to happen. So I believe the narrative is there, for this fight, obviously, and this is one of the reasons why it's being made.
Finally, Anthony Joshua reacted to the Usyk versus Dubois matchup. He acknowledged that Daniel Dubois has a strong chance against Oleksandr Usyk, but also emphasized the phenomenal knockout power Usyk possesses, noting that he often goes beyond pure skill to get the job done.
On Daniel Dubois against Oleksandr Usyk, realistically, has he got any chance? We've got 30 seconds.
Of course he has. Look, it's a tough ask, of course. The thing with Usyk is he doesn't depend on his power to knock you out. He depends on his skill. That's why it's a tough ask, because he's going to box rings around you if you let him. Dubois, good luck. Don Charles, good luck. great British boxing, good luck. We potentially might have a heavyweight championship back on our soil.
Let us know what you're thinking in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that bell icon so you never miss another deep dive breakdown such as this. We've got more fire on the way. Keep it locked, fight fans.